That's just an overthinking thing.
That's real though. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. However you start.
Bye, Ferguson. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 560. Head on over to Jack O'Hara TV on our YouTube channel at Jack O'Hara TV. Like, comment, subscribe. We are presented by TickPick. Use the promo code capital OSHOW20. That's OSHOW20 for $20 off your next order. Super Bowl right around the corner here in Phoenix. We got a lot going on. We got a ton of UFC fights coming up. Just had a big event this weekend at UFC 281. A lot of good fights, which my guest today knows a little something about, Joel Bauman, the King Bao. You truly believe that everybody is a king and queen in their own mind. I listened, and shout out to Peter Meyerhoff, who's letting us use his house today here in Chandler, Arizona. Shout out to Peter. He's always been very kind to me. I think the lasting thing I heard, because I listened to your show on Roll Call with Chappie with Peter Meyerhoff, talking about you are more than the fear that's in your own mind. And that really resonated with me, because anybody can conquer whatever the hell they want to do as long as they get past something mentally. At what point did you kind of figure all of that out, and how have you used that to resonate with people around you?
So I did direct sales and network marketing. And by doing direct sales and network marketing, got into personal development. And I became obsessed with biohacking and just learning how to make me better. I used to pray to God, like when I was young. God, I pray that I could make it till noon today to not get in a fight with one of my teachers. And then to stumble upon personal development and have successful people telling me, hey, you can only earn what you become. That's why you read the books. That's why. So started modeling. Right? You start modeling successful people. One of the successful people that I modeled was Tony Robbins, because I wanted to go to who's the most successful? Who's doing things that's making the largest impact? And I was like, Tony Robbins. Heard he read 200 books in the span of a very short time. So I'm like, I have to read 200 books now. Got an Audible. Just as many books as I could. When I found out it was a tax write-off for like what we did, I went in, right? I was just like, fucking buy as many books as I can. My extra money is gonna go to books, and I'm just always listening to books. So 200 books as fast as humanly possible. Did that in like a year and a half. Just going, right? Sometimes I'd listen to a book in a day, right? And if you can just do that over and over and over again, you're done. Got into neurolinguistic programming. HypnosisTrainingAcademy.com with Igor. We just went in. I just went in on myself and my own mind, because I saw that was the key and the gateway, and was having a spiritual awakening. They told me that, learned that the universe is mental, right? So if the universe is mental, why wouldn't you want to learn how to control your thoughts? Why wouldn't you want to learn how to think the best that you could and live again, handling your thoughts, choices, thoughts, emotions, choices, thoughts, emotions. If we think something, we'll feel something and we'll act a certain way. If we act a certain way, we must be thinking a certain way and we must be feeling a certain way. So if we can direct our thoughts to make us feel optimal, then everything can change. And that's what I want to do embody, man. That's just what I've been focused on the last however many years, is just that.
I think every single human being has that too, but at the same time, they don't want to take certain risks. Like you said it yourself, like people in college are almost like zombies. They're sleepwalking through life because they just accept life for the way it is and the way their parents probably taught them, the way their grandparents probably taught their parents. Like nobody truly realizes you could think for yourself and take action for yourself. It's going to be difficult. A lot of people will be naysayers and not support you. You've been there, but at the same time, you got to the point where you wanted to be, to where you can do literally whatever the hell you want. Like we're recording this podcast on arguably the most impressive thing I've ever seen, just from Peter's living room. Like it's crazy how clear this is, and we're able to see this in real time too. That's like a lot of kudos to you for doing that.
I've always just wanted to be able to express myself however I wanted to express myself. If you've heard the story of me getting into rapping, it was because somebody made fun of me and dissed me in a freestyle that I had walked up to as an innocent young kid. And I walked away because everybody looked at me and they told me, freestyle, like, oh, you're black.
They just assumed,
You know what I mean? And I was just like, what? What is that? I didn't even know what to call what they were doing. I had to go figure it out, And after that, I made a vow to myself that I never didn't want to be able to go. And I think the larger reflection of that is I always just wanted to express myself. As a kid, I had anger issues or whatever. People would tell me I had anger issues. And ultimately, I look back as a child and I just go, it's just because I didn't know how to express myself how I wanted to. I didn't know that I could control my thoughts and my emotions. I felt like I had to act. All knowing that, you know, looking back at it, I knew better even as a child. It's just you need those people around you. You are what you surround yourself with. So if you're around other people that don't know how to control themselves, how to control their mind, it's so easy to then go back into self-defeating habits, self-defeating tendencies. And, you know, I've had a lot of alone time. A lot of my adult life has been spent alone or with other like-minded individuals. So then you get time with your thoughts, you get time with yourself. And I think that's the point that people are missing. You talk about school. School, they throw you in with a bunch of other people who don't know shit, who are highly suggestible, who have no life experience, and are going somewhere to think that they're gaining life experience.
Yep.
But they aren't. You're still getting school paid for by your parents. Your apartment's probably paid for by your parents. You're going into debt for what? When I was in
Automatically
college,
going into
when
debt.
I was in college, when I was in network, when I got into college in network marketing, or network marketing when I was in college, it was a 7% or so, like it was a 12% chance to get a job after college with your chosen degree, because you have to think about it. Even back then, this is how one of my mentors described it to me back in like 2012. Joel, you have to imagine there's people that can't really retire anymore. They can't really retire because their 401ks and their pensions don't, it's not the same amount of money. You can't live off of that. So they're going to continue to work pretty much until they die. So this college student that wants a job, they're not necessarily going to be able to get that job until that person retires. Well, that's why it's the chain of command that there's just so many people. How many people are graduating every single year with a management degree? Ain't that fucking many management positions. So what do you have to do? You have to become an entrepreneur. You have to become, and why do they fear entrepreneurs? Because they're free thinking. Because they're the ones that see through the veil, that actually are willing to create new systems of change. So I just think that, I think the point is to think for yourself, and a lot of people just don't. They're indoctrinated.
No, and even like with being an entrepreneur, it's like you're gonna have to go through struggles that on paper you're like, I'm not gonna go through that. Why do that when I could just comfortably make a salary working for someone else's passive income?
Yeah.
Which is, like, I've been through it. You worked in
Yeah, for
sales.
sure.
It's detrimental to your mental health. It's detrimental to what you're trying to grow. Like, you don't have all the time in the world. You know, time moves
do that.
fast.
Yeah.
Time is money. That's the old cliche. You
Yeah.
want to be able to do what you want to do at a moment's notice, and you got to have a plan too. You got to be able to provide value as an entrepreneur.
Well, now time is sped up. Now
Yeah.
time is definitely sped up. Like, I mean, we might be, some people believe we might be on the brink of World War III and all these things. Well, what happens if we were? And you never put the fucking time in to do what you actually wanted to do. And like, imagine if this was like, that's why I've been sprinting. Like, people were like, oh, they think I almost came out of nowhere. No, I've been doing shit for a long time. I just haven't been posting like this because I've been waiting for this moment to essentially go, to have the mind that I do, to have been through all the shit that I've been through to get to where we are now. Like, it's priming. It's priming. It's many years of work. I showed you that behind the scenes footage of my producer.
Yeah.
Like, he's known for the last 10 years. He even says it in the clip. He's like, people think that you're an overnight success, but you've been doing this for 10 years. How many times I used to come to him with a new song and be like, bro, this is the one. This is the one. I promise, man, this is going to be the one. And they were always the one. Just maybe not at that time.
Yeah.
And now people go back and listen to my music from however many years ago. Go, wow, this is really good. Wow, this is really impressive. And it's just like, yeah, that's 6 years old. That's 8 years old. Oh, that might be 10 years old. Yeah, for sure. And what I had to do is I had to stop getting, I was doing music at one point in time to see like what other people fucking thought. And then I realized, wait a minute, I don't even give a shit what people think because I'm making music that sounds different than what everybody else is making. So if I wanted to impress other people, because I would get almost disappointed by people when they would give me reactions like, oh, this doesn't really sound like anything else. And like, it was almost like, it was a compliment, but it was still just like they didn't understand
They weren't saying it as a compliment. Like,
it.
that's the biggest
Kind of,
compliment anybody
yeah,
can
you
give
know what I
you.
mean? And now it's like, you listen, like, now people are craving that. They're craving different because everybody fucking sounds the same. And I stand out like a sore thumb because I sound different. Even in front, even doing podcasts, even doing interviews. I don't talk like these people talk. I don't deliver how these people deliver. I do music, but I don't have to talk like this, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta do anything like that, you know.
I'm not a fan of those people.
Bingo. It's all fucking bullshit. It's all facade. I am what I am, and I think that's the thing, man. I think it's becoming sovereign of spirit and mind. We talk about sales. It's becoming sovereign of spirit and mind. Spirit and mind, you know? And
I know a lot of musicians that have produced music and like, is this good? Is this good? I'm like, it sounds good, but it could be Post Malone for all I know. It could be like A$AP Rocky. It could be Jake. Like, it's the exact same cadence. It's the exact same beat. Like,
Bingo.
this is just gonna get lost in the shuffle. How do you not realize that?
bingo.
Like, how do you not know that?
I mean, but hear me out. They're doing it for, that's where I'm going back to. It's like they're doing it for external.
Yeah.
I do it for internal. I always did it because I was releasing something.
They're doing it to be like, hey, look at me, look what I did. Or
I
you're
mean,
doing it because your soul wants you to do
I
it.
have to. I have to. Like, I have to get it out. I got to get it out because it's releasing. It's give and receive. So if I release this, I can heal. You know, I'm always gaining something. Like when the piece, after I make a song and it gets complete, it gets mixed, it gets mastered. I made the beat, just listening back and being like, oh, this came out of my mind. I used to almost surprise myself where it was just like, wow, is this as good as I think it is? And now it's just like, I know what I am. I used to have to make music every day. I don't have to make music every day now because I know any point in time I pick that thing up, it's done. And I can express whatever I need to express. And then it doesn't, it's organic. You know, there's so many producers out there that will say, I make all my own beats for me. I used to sell beats, but then I'm like, fuck that. Why? If I sell them, I'm going to sell them as individual artworks. Now NFTs are a thing. See, I've always had that vision. But now we're living in a timeline where it's all happening. So it just goes back to, man, it's time. It's time to go. I feel like I'm on this timeline and I've done everything that I have, whether it's like past the tests or whatever you want to call it, to get to this point where we can deliver the message from a sound mind, from a sound heart, and we can actually create those systems of change that I want to. We're not going to sound like everybody else because we're not supposed to. Neither should you. You have your own thing, you know what I mean? You're doing your own thing. It's coming from your perspective, which is making people fans of you, which makes people want to listen because it's a different perspective. We are all to shine our light to inspire one another. You inspire me. I don't know you. We just met today. But you inspire me. I listen to what you've done and I go, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome. And it makes me go, huh. It makes me want to be better. It makes me want, that's the fucking point.
Yep.
Everybody wants to compete with each other. I'm done. Like, I don't compete with anybody. If I'm competing, I'm going to get paid for it.
Yeah, it's like a weird insecurity complex. Like I was telling you before we hit record, like there's so many people that are out there competing with one another. Learn from them. If they have a bigger audience than you, like in a podcast space, learn from them. If you're sparring with someone at the gym, getting ready for the fight, learn from them.
If someone lands something, yep. If that would have landed or whatever, it's just like, oh, okay, he did that there, he did it, and he did it when my foot was planted. I was going on a back step. It was mid rhythm. Okay, that's when he's gonna hit that. I cannot be that close when like you always have to be learning. That's why I think people need to do martial arts. I think people need to get punched in the face. You know, I think you need to. There needs to be the reason I love martial arts is because there's immediate consequence for not being aware, and so many people, and that's why I think they try to say everybody's too violent and da-da-da. You realize martial artists are some of the least violent people on the planet because when you surround yourself with it or you're doing it on a day-to-day basis, you don't want to do it out there. Like that's the point. You know, Peter was one of the baddest men ever in jail, in prison, but he's not now. He got out of that environment and doesn't want to fucking, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You get desensitized to things, but I feel martial arts humbles people because it's what you're talking about. Like, you can think you're the baddest person on the planet until you get your ass kicked. Then what are you going to do? You got to humble yourself and you got to listen to someone to get better. That's the point. That's the ultimate analogy. It's the ultimate analogy. Physical, like, because they threaten us with physical violence all the time, right? I
Yeah.
mean, in the outside world, Andrew Tate always makes that claim that there's always a threat to physical violence. If you don't pay your bill or your house, like at the end of the day, you got to think of there might be police that show up, and if I don't go with them, it's going to end out in violence. That's real shit. Wouldn't you want to be, if that is the world that we live in, then wouldn't you want to be the most prepared? Mm-hmm. Then wouldn't you want to know how to handle adversity physically the best way possible? What's better than learning how to fight? I think that would take away so many egos. If there was just gyms everywhere, that's part of my vision, is like there's just gyms everywhere. If you have a problem with someone, you just go to the gym and handle it in front of everybody. Or you get paid. We set it up. Now they have street beefs, right?
Yeah.
Where you set it up, you guys meet, you get paid, it's in front of everybody, everybody can see it, and you train for that motherfucker. You really don't like that if that person is taking away all your peace in your mind, and you're thinking about them on a day-to-day basis, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just set a date 3 months out? Now you can train for them for the next 3 months.
That's
and
very
then
true.
afterwards, after it's done, why would you have to think about it anymore? Either they won or you won. Either you got out what you want to get out, because that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that's the other thing too, is like, what are you going to do, fight them? You don't like this person, but what are you going to do, fight them? No? Okay, then shut the fuck up. You're giving all that negative energy away for what? They don't do anything. Like, why? So if you're not going to fight them, shut the fuck up. And I just think martial arts is going to save the world, bro. I think that's why everybody has a fascination with it right now. The UFC, obviously, we talked about, is the fastest growing sport in the world. You know, MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world. The UFC is the biggest, fastest growing organization in the world. And it's just like, because people are fascinated, because they're living through fighters. Because they have pent up energy. They've wanted to punch someone in the face, but haven't been able to.
I mean, and just getting to know you the past few hours, like you are someone who absolutely listens to their brain and listens to their heart at all times. And you surround yourself with that, whether it's Peter, whether it's, Jackson Mink, whether it's like anybody that you're training with or growing with, spiritually, mentally, physically. Like everybody has that inside them, but a lot of people don't want to take that risk. And I feel blessed in of it itself to even be surrounded by people, like you today and Peter, where it's like
absolutely same.
I'm kind of just like, a sort, like I stick out like a sore thumb compared to you guys, just like
but hear me out.
fight mentality.
But hear me out. You're young and you're successful and you're living your dream. You said that you wanted to do ESPN. Now you're on ESPN. Why? Because you thought, and then you felt, and then you chose to put action into place. You see, a lot of people can't move from their heart to their feet. They don't have the, Think and Grow Rich talks about having a burning desire. And a lot of people I've cried before, bro, because I wanted my life to change. I've cried for it by myself, just like I am not going to not live my dream with a certain level of intensity, like where it's almost like I'm willing to kill someone, but I'm willing to kill my old self.
Yeah.
It's like it's that type of focus. I'm gonna do everything in my power to literally get what I want. Everything.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna do it from a place. I'm not gonna hurt people because I believe in energy, right? I believe everything is energy. So I'm not gonna hurt people to get there.
Have you, like, when you're like by yourself having these conversations like with yourself, like that's your like inner beast voice talking? Like I've been there too, where it's like I am like starving myself, not accomplishing my goals right now. What can I change? And like you're not like beating yourself up over it, but like this certain side of you that no one's probably ever seen, unless they're fighting with you, has ever seen. Like, because everybody talks about having like that inner man voice and that inner bitch voice, waking up at 4 a.m. like I don't want to go to the gym this morning, and then like you have to like trick yourself almost. Like how have you like mentally been able to get past certain moments in your life, whether it was like at a young age? Because obviously you were bred into it. You've been an athlete your entire life, looking to conquer every space that you've ever been in.
I moved away from my children. I was a stay-at-home dad for a while when I did direct sales, and it's like I moved away from my kids to do this because I made a promise to myself that I would be the reason that no child would die from malnutrition.
Yeah.
When I heard Sam Castor speak in the crowd, he's the gentleman who is the owner of Alovea, now our company. And I heard his idea and his mission to save the children, and I'm sitting here privileged. I got my career back because I started taking an all-natural anti-inflammatory that helped me with a head injury. And I was just like, here I am, healthier than I've ever been, on an incredible product line that I believe everybody should be on. All these influencers out here, they're selling whatever, some of it to me, bullshit, not even comparable. It's not even close with what we do. We do food technology. It's not even close. Like, we could change the world overnight if everybody had this information. How do I get this information out to as many people as fast as humanly possible? Fuck, I gotta fight.
And is that kind of where the whole, because the whole story, I know, like UFC Fight Pass fight, you know, talking about some of these things, and then the whole Jimmy Kimmel challenge starting, where they're just not addressing the true issues at hand. And we talked about it before, whether it's like Fallon, Kimmel, all these late night hosts, they just like desensitize everything. Everything's fake. Like everybody who loves these guys don't really understand what's going on.
Why would they have talked about my supposed, which was bullshit, genital herpes? It was just a fucking cold sore. Why would they talk about that and not bring up the fact that I fight to eradicate childhood malnutrition? And we have a tangible way to do it. And we've sent over 44 million servings of nourishment to children through our program in the last 3.5 years. We're working with Vicente Fox, ex-president of Mexico. We're working with world leaders, Muhammad Yusuf. We're working with real motherfuckers making real change. Operation Underground Railroad. We nourish sex slave children back to health with our food technology, our products. And yet, they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk. See, you made it easy. All of you made it easy for me. It's simple because they're so low vibrational, and I am not. So you see the contrast. Jimmy Kimmel comes out and says, oh, I lost half my following talking about Trump. Fuck out of here. Damage control. We know what it is. Fuck out of here. You understand? Don't play me like that. I'm in your face now. You can't ignore me. And this is only the beginning. Like, people think, bro, I've been going the last like 12 weeks, you know, but like, this is only the beginning. Like, this has been calculated for years. People are freaking out right now about the tattoo that I just got on my back. Like, it's an alien on a cross. Oh,
That's brand new?
Yeah. Well, no, but that's 4 years old as far as like the concept and the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2018 is when it was drawn up. So like, no, probably before that. I have to actually.
But like getting it done, that's brand new.
Getting it done, yeah, it's brand new, 100%. So it's 3 days old. I just finally posted pictures on it, and people are immediately just attacking, right? They're immediately just, people don't have discernment anymore.
Nope.
They can watch Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel and all these other people. My spiritual mentor told me that comedy was the highest form of enlightenment many years ago.
Yeah.
And that changed my life. But then a couple months ago, it hit me that discernment is the highest attribute of enlightenment. Many people can't even discern what's good for them and what's bad for them. They look at me and they think, I'm for humanity. Just because I got an alien on my back that's on a cross, they go, he's mocking Jesus. I love Jesus more than all of you, I bet. I love Jesus more than all of you, I bet. Damn near. You understand? My idea of things might be a little bit different than yours, but don't question my love or my morals or my morality when you see what I'm putting my life on the line for. People contact me and say, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you in your mission because I spoke out against the Epstein, Ghislaine, whatever, and now people, what kind of world do we have to live in where people are saying they're praying for me to speak out of the truth? You see, I don't give a fuck if I lose followers for my tattoo on my back. When I'm really putting it on the line to give my family a better life. I moved away to give my family a better life. I moved away to give these children a better opportunity to be saved. And I got people that are still putting artificial flavors in their body.
Yep.
I got people that are still eating preservatives in their food. And we got all natural food technology. So you can't fuck with me. You can't talk to me a certain way. I don't give a fuck anyways because you don't even have enough knowledge to not put that in your body. Why should I give a shit? I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for anybody. Oh, we followed him and we believed in him and then he got this alien and he's mocking Jesus and now we can't support him. Fuck out of here. I never wanted their support anyways. How many of them have bought product? How many of them put their fucking money where their mouth is? I put my money where my mouth is. I put it all on the line, whether you want to say it or not. I put it all on the line. Andrew Tate coming out saying, oh, you know, I'm afraid they're going to kill me. He's talking about these past couple weeks. Fuck that. I have no fear. Come for me. Come for me. Try to martyr me. Watch what happens. There's no fear. They're full of fear. Why are you afraid of me? We might think the same thing, but you're so emotionally charged that you can't even logically think, what is it triggering you about my back tattoo that is making you then question everything else that I have fucking done in the last two and a half weeks? Well, you're mocking Jesus. How? How is anything that I've done mocking Jesus? Real question. Do you not think Jesus could have been out of this world? Is an alien something that's extraterrestrial, extraterranean, out of this world? You know what I mean? Like, could that not have been the thing? Did he not ascend to the heavens? What does that mean? Do UFOs not come from the sky and the water? Do UFOs not come from the sky? Like, it's just a metaphor. If you're getting mad over a metaphor, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You're the most manipulated. They polarize people. People are so polarized that they can't discern anything anymore. And I just don't have time for it. I don't have time to not be all that I am because someone else is insecure.
That's all it is. All these people commenting on your stuff are just at home.
Yeah.
Living with their mothers, doing whatever the hell they're doing. Like, they have no use of their time to do anything else.
One of those crazy, though. I bring that up to say, my tattoo has been the most negative feedback I've gotten in the last 3.5 years. You understand?
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck because I got a bunch more love. People that get it, that they understand, they know what I'm doing. I do everything to trigger, bro. Everything is just a trigger. I know what I'm doing. I've been planning this moment. I told you this was back. I received the fucking tattoo, the design back in 2018. I just pulled up the picture today. It was like back in March of 2018. I've been waiting for this. I've always wanted that tattoo.
People just don't want to take the risk because they're afraid of what other people think, man. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You weed out the people that aren't supposed to be in your life, period.
Bingo.
Like, maybe there's people that you want to have in your life that aren't meant to be in your life.
Exactly.
Hard realization for some people to have, but, like, that's the truth of the matter.
I don't deal with fake people. I don't deal with inauthenticity. Since you've been here, has it been nothing but authenticity, smiles, laughter?
You can read right through it, man.
Bingo.
We've all been there.
I did a Netflix series, bro. And got casted for it. And I told myself at the beginning of the year, because Netflix is in Albuquerque now, I was going to be in a Netflix series, I was going to make InfoWars, and I was going to go viral. Those were three things because I was going to use my virality to market my NFT, and we were going to launch it and all this stuff, right? I've done everything that I said I was going to do. And when I did the Netflix series, it was just there's so much fakeness. So much fucking fake. They're still doing the masks. They're still doing the tests, all to come out a couple months after I'm on set to say it's bullshit.
Yep.
They said it was all
That's
bullshit.
where we're at now. It's just like
anything else. They said it was all
else.
bullshit. They in fucking court, in a sensual court overseas, woman says, "Yeah, this doesn't transmission. We don't need to get into it, but
Exactly.
you guys know the clip." So all that 3.5 years, people losing businesses, all this other shit, and then I'm in a set, I'm in Hollywood, or I'm in Netflix, and they're perpetuating the bullshit. And I'm having to sit here, and I see the people that are there, and they just crave attention. They crave authority, the people on set who are just, it's all telling people what to do, and it's just a facade, it's all bullshit. And it's just like, wow, I don't want to participate in that reality. Look at the content we're creating. I think this is fucking way better.
This is unbelievable.
I think this is way cooler than anything that's in Hollywood or coming out of Netflix. I don't watch Netflix. I don't have fucking time. I'm creating. I'm literally always working. And I prefer that because then it allows people to become more attracted to what we think, feel, say, and do. Why the fuck would I waste time on shit like where I know, like now I know how some people treat other people, like especially in Hollywood. It's just like, why the fuck would you even want to participate in that model if people are talking to you that way? If you got to do things that you don't want to do, you know how many people were bitching about the masks or bitching about things and would still do it anyways? Now fuck that. I'm not gonna be compliant and complicit with shit I don't want to do. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. Suck my dick. You understand? Like I don't do well with fake shit. I do not do well with it. That's why a lot of the times I will isolate. I just had to I just had to stop talking. I told you the story about having to talk to this fucking female, you know, because I'm just nice to people. Like, I'm nice to people. She kept inviting me around, and I give people opportunities and chances. But every time we're going out, it's, look at who I'm with, duh, you know, and then the next week she's doing the same thing with another dude. Like, I just don't have time for that. I don't have time for connections that aren't genuine, that aren't real, that aren't providing value of mind, body, or spirit. Fuck out of here. We have too much fake shit going on to not be authentic.
I mean, it's like a mix of knowing that, and I think you and I both very well pick up on that stuff very easily. And the other factor in that is literally like sticking to your core beliefs on what you're going to do. I know you had a coach back in the day when you were training. You were trying to do everything. You know, you were trying to train. You were trying to be a networker at school. Like you were trying to do all of these different things in business while you're training for certain fights. And there's like, Joel, if you would just train and
For
focus
sure.
on training for
That
the
was
next
my
4
coaches.
years,
Yeah, for
all,
sure.
all
Exactly.
that, like
Yeah.
you could be one of the next big fighters.
Yeah.
And it's just like let all that stuff go. Like you can't do everything, and that pissed you off, right?
That was my wrestling coach.
Do you look back at that now and think like I was right, or were they
No,
right?
I mean, I look at it like this. I'm so grateful. No, they were obviously proven wrong because I have done everything that I've done. Now, hear me out. I have not just focused on fighting. If I just focused on fighting, who would fuck with me? I'll ask all of you. Ask yourself, if I just focused on fighting, didn't focus on my music, didn't focus on anything else, how good could I be? But now watch, if I just focused on music, how good could I be? Fuck that. Let's crush limiting beliefs. What if I could do it all? See, that's the right question. What if you can do it all? What if I can put a little bit of time here? What if I can put a little bit of time here? What if I can just become consistent enough where we can do that? I feel like I've proven that. But hear me out, I do want to lock in a little bit more. I do want to lock in a little bit more of fighting and things like that. Because, again, people now, I believe, see the content. The Jimmy Kimmel Challenge is proof that I can make content every single day for 46 days. And it can be fire. And it can be groundbreaking, world-changing. I made 3 fucking songs during the Jimmy Kimmel Challenge that were all dope, freestyles in a day. That went viral. That shook shit up. Okay? We know we can do that now. Watch what I can do in fighting. Just wait. But watch what we can do in business too. 5 months ago, I was crazy because I told the world that I had herpes, talked about my NFT. Then when people actually saw the video of my NFT, they say I was genius. They say I'm a genius. Wow, this is brilliant. Wow, that's why you can't give a fuck what anybody says. Respect to my coaches from the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of resentment and towards them. Now I don't give a fuck. I see that they're just trying to protect their investment. I'm man enough to say that. I'm man enough to sit down and have a conversation. You know, I don't know how they feel about me, you know. Just trained there a couple weeks ago for the first time in a long time. Didn't see the coaches, but would have loved to just see what the energy is because I have nothing towards them. I'm grateful for everything that I am and everything that I've done and everything that they provided with through that experience. But I'm sure they're upset that they didn't get this Joel. The one that was confident in himself. The one that believes in himself. The one that isn't going to take shit from people anymore. I let a lot of people walk over me a lot of years, bro. A lot of years I let a lot of people say things to me, treat me a certain way just because they knew they could get away with it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't respect myself enough to put a stop to certain behaviors, you know? And now it's different. And I feel like that's the energy that people can feel. And that's why I immediately garner respect from real motherfuckers because they can feel it. It's genuine. It's not bullshit. It's real.
And we've talked about that too, weeding out all the fake people that you want to be following you anyway. And like another word for viral, ladies and gentlemen, is resonating with people. Like you blew up because your stuff resonates with people, and it's amazing to see how many people actually out there resonate with what you're talking about when they're trying to hide it on national television.
What is resonance? Frequency. It's energy.
Yep.
Yep. And speaking of, that's what my company does. We do energy technology, food and energy technology. We literally have technology that taps into the frequency. Graham Hancock was just on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was with Bob, I think, forget his name, and they were talking about frequency and how now frequency technology is coming out and shifting everything. We are on the 5D now, man. We instantaneously can feel through the bullshit. The new is here. People are done being lied to. The illusion is done. I don't give a fuck what some of these influencers have to say when they're pushing bullshit out to younger kids, whether it's drinking, partying, whatever. Like, I'm not saying you can't do these things. I smoke, obviously, but it's from the earth. I take a little bit of mushrooms, it's from the earth. I love DMT, it's from the earth. You understand? There's a different aspect to it, right? It's not, I don't need this as a crutch. I do it to worship me. You understand? I'm not smoking bullshit weed. I'm smoking my buddy Skunkle Phil shit. No preservatives. Sun grown. He goes through everything through a fine-tooth comb. None of the bullshit in it. Some of these fucking dispensaries are selling bullshit to these kids now. What's in the alcohol is bullshit in America. I went over to Romania, wrestled overseas in the World Championships. That beer over there was so good, and it didn't give me a headache. I didn't have any gut rot. It was so clean. I went over to Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, for a trip. Had Guinness fresh from the fucking Guinness factory. Incredible. I had 4. It went down like water, and I'm pretty feeling it. But it's not I'm not waking up hungover. It's because there's no bullshit in it. See, everybody's done with the bullshit. Nobody wants the bullshit anymore. They want the real and the authentic. And they want to resonate with something that actually makes them feel good. It's about feeling good. You know, if I can empower people or I can inspire people, cool, awesome. But I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna be me now. And if you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, you don't. I don't care. I used to. Now, no, because you're not going to get anyways. I could talk to you till I'm blue in the face. You wouldn't get anyways. We wouldn't vibrate and train in the same things. Why? Because you believe what you believe. Beliefs create reality. Okay, perfect. You want to know how to detach from everything? Realize that beliefs create reality, and some people just believe a certain thing, and that's going to be the reality that they create, and be done with it. That's it. Oh, this person's racist. Okay. They believe that black people... Is that the truth, though? That might not be so if you know again, truth is truth, right? Truth is truth. So if that person believes that, okay, cool. That might not be the reality though. Let them believe that, cool. Only do something if they hurt someone.
Yeah.
If they don't hurt someone, then who gives a fuck? Let them continue to poison their own mind with whatever whatever low frequency they want to vibrate at. They want to vibrate from hate, shame, fear, worry, anxiety, envy. Okay, let them. You go find a way to be grateful. You go find a way to be gratitude and realize that beliefs create reality and be done with it.
Yeah.
And that would change the world overnight.
Yep. And that's not hurting you. That's only hurting them.
Bingo.
You know? Joe Rogan's gotten in trouble a billion different times doing what he's doing with what he's saying, but he plays both sides so well to where it's like he can explain.
He knows what he's doing. He
can explain it.
He's so smart. He knows what he's doing. We all know that Joe knows what he's doing. You know, and that's... I have my things with Joe. I was on Eddie Bravo's podcast. I've talked to Eddie.
Eddie's very smart.
Eddie's smart, but I was on his, when I went to LA to do the last day of the Jimmy Kimmel Challenge out in front of whatever, I stayed with my buddy Sean Hibbler, who is Hibbler Productions. He's made the movie Fluvid, and he's just phenomenal filmmaker. He's the one that did my Jimmy Kimmel Challenge recap. And I'm sitting there with Eddie and him in the studio, and he's on doing this podcast with BJ Penn. You know, legend BJ Penn. Yeah. We're sitting there, we're smoking, we're hanging out, and he was just kind of telling me about his relationship with Joe, and it's all the things that I already know. Joe's way smarter than he lets on. He's way smarter than he lets on, but he does need people to drip on him. He doesn't need, you know, and Eddie's the drip. And you know that. You can tell that from their relationship, right? But But even like for Joe, like I would love to have a conversation with him because I would ask him questions I don't think anybody's asking before. Let's have a real fucking conversation. No fucking cameras. Like we're on camera now, but I'm gonna be. Hey, you're not gonna talk to me like this is a real conversation. This is us just fucking hanging out. Da, 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 da. It's not for media. This ain't for anything. Like I want to see what you believe. What do you actually believe? I'm gonna pull it out of you if you don't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the now is not the time to be wishy-washy. People need to know who you are and what you know. That's why I respond to all the comments. I'm not going to allow anybody to create a narrative about me. I'm going to tell you what it is. And if you don't like it or you don't understand, then okay, cool. But I'm in control of this narrative.
Yeah, dude, you're only growing as a person doing that. Like, how many people have you seen, like, all right, I'm going to be as real as I possibly can today. One person says something negative, they're like, well, what I actually meant by that, you know? It's like, then you're just taking away all that credibility.
Bingo. I don't defend myself. I don't do anything. I respond. I control narrative because you're not going to say something that isn't what I believe it is. Let's go with your belief and then let's go with mine. That's what sales is, bro. If I'm trying to sell you something, the more certain person wins. We just talked about fighting. It's a game of belief. If I am more certain, I will win. Alex Pereira was more certain than Israel Adesanya in the 5th round. All Izzy had to do was run around and move. He backed him up to the cage, and Alex did what? Locked in. Became super focused, super words, said, I gotta go. And then went. He was more certain. That's it. It's a game of certainty. And I am so certain in my beliefs and in my truths that someone else's opinion or what the fuck they say is not going to affect me in the slightest. It doesn't. I sleep well every night because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Because I've hated myself before. I hated myself when I was less aware, when I didn't know.
Now, is that just you being lazy, or is that you just not having enough experiences to realize that?
Not having enough belief in myself. Yeah, not having enough belief in myself. Not having enough experiences to make me have to believe in myself. I've had my heart broken. I've trusted people and been fucked over in many situations where I had to go, oh, I can never let that happen again.
Yeah.
Someone so close to me could do this to me. Someone that I thought I fucked with who showed me all these different things can just fucking up and leave like that. Or like, you understand? Like, so that's been the biggest thing, is like just seeing the real truth. What's truth? Going back to it. You have to experience. Experience is wisdom. Why is experience wisdom? Because as you experience things, you gain wisdom. And over everything, you know, the story of the Bible of King Solomon, he chose wisdom over everything.
Yeah.
Wisdom is being able to see things through multiple perspectives. If you don't go through something, you don't gain the perspective, so you can't then grow to know, oh, this could happen. Oh, I can give my love to a girl and do everything for her for years, and then she can just fucking leave. Say, fuck me. At my lowest, or right just before everything's about to happen, you know, which could have been the thing that threw me off, which was the thing that ultimately made me question myself the most. So what am I going to do? Am I going to be a bitch and I'm going to let heartbreak and all these other things ruin me? Or am I going to shut the fuck up, work and provide for my children? Am I going to go to war for humanity and consciousness because this is bigger than me? It's not about me. It's about fucking consciousness. And people needing to rise up and do something to provide a better life for their future sons, daughters, the world, the children of the future, bro. I don't have fucking time to pity myself or anything anymore. It's just like, we gotta go because we're at war right now. If you don't think that they're fucking trying to take the country away from you that you fucking live in, you're a fucking idiot. They have the World Government Forum. The World Government, they just did a fucking summit, the World Government Summit. Literally in the title. Why? Why do they want to do that? Why are they trying to surveil everywhere? They now have people in China has police over here to watch the Chinese citizens. So wherever you are, if you do something they don't like, you're getting fined for that. That means if they jaywalk over here and they see that, they'll get social credits go over there. Like, I'm not playing this game. I am sovereign. I am a sovereign being. I am not playing in any reality I don't want to play in. I'm not listening to anybody who is potentially doing wrong at the highest levels and then thinking they have the authority to tell me what the fuck to do. No, you don't. Nobody has the authority to tell me what to do. Shut the fuck up. If you're not willing to come and put something on it, okay. But then that means we're both probably going to die fighting. So why? Why do that? Just leave me the fuck alone. That's probably the best thing that you can do. Why doesn't everybody just leave each other the fuck alone? That's why the samurai was so awesome. They all had swords. Because they knew, like, and if you whip out your sword, it's a fight to the death.
Yeah.
If you show up at my whatever, it's a fight to the death. So I just think everybody needs to be sovereign, be chill, love one another, and let's just create the new and give it back to the children. We have everything that we in the world to create abundance on earth. Utopia. But they're hiding technologies. It's all about money and bullshit. That's not actually going to give me all that money that they sent to Ukraine. Watch what I do with it. Hydroponic systems everywhere, storage containers everywhere, food everywhere for everyone. Like, it's done.
Yeah.